guys, welcome back to the Lawrence Garden Farm. If you are new here, my name is Casey. Welcome to my garden. I've been gardening my entire life. It's a true joy and a passion and a love for gardening. And one of my favorite things to do in gardening is create creative container garden recipes. And today, that's what I'm going to share with you. And I've got quite a few to share. So let's just go ahead and get started right away. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this container over here. This is right over near the kids' science shed in their garden. This pot here is around 18 inches tall. Hi Fuzzy, you going to come in here too today? Fuzzy's sitting waiting for the bunnies to come out. This is also our bunny enclosure. Don't mean to interrupt our container gardening video here, but I just thought it was funny because Fuzzy wants to see her friends. This is the time of the day that the bunnies come out. And then the pot is a 12-inch pot. In all of my containers, I always keep a stack of tags placed in the back. I always put them right inside once I plant them. This allows me to keep track of the varieties that I planted, so that way I can learn about them, get to know their names through the season. I know the names of things that I use all the time, but a lot of the varieties that we have in a lot of our containers are new this year, and also some varieties that won't even be new until 2024. Right here is the SUPERTUNIA Persimmon. I really like it. It didn't do as well in this container, but in all of the other containers it is in, it performs beautifully and gets really large. There's just something about this container that it doesn't like, but this is the only container that it didn't get super large in. The flower on persimmon looks like a beautiful sunset. It's just absolutely gorgeous and adds a perfect, bright, warm touch to any container. And then in the back, we have the TOUCAN coral. CANNA right here. This is also proven winners along with the persimmon. In here we have some snapdragons. These are just orange snapdragons of seed that I saved over the years. Every year I always save my snapdragon seeds. I always love how they come out of a container. They always add a bright color. They come in multiple colors. If you live in a really hot zone, we are in Wisconsin, zone 5, so they do pretty well in our summers because we don't get like crazy hot like in the south. So if you live in the south where it gets super hot, or southwest, you know, there's the seasons where these won't perform as well. But what I love about snaps too is once the flower is all done, I always just go ahead and I snap it off. And then all the little growths down the stem here, see these little growths right here? These will all come out and grow up and flower. So there'll be bundles of even more flowers as the time goes on. Trailing off of the front here is the Sweet Caroline upside key lime. It's a type of a potato vine and it trails down, but it can also trail up. And over here are the new sun caladiums from Proven Winners. I will put the name of this one below, but this has been one of my favorite performing caladiums for the sun. But this is just gorgeous. It looks fun and tropical. Lana's feeding the bunnies while I'm about to show you the next container, which is a little window box over here on the kids' science shed. So in here we got a nice little combination because there's actually quite a few seeded items in here. So these petunias here are all saved wave seeds from last year, which they do not end up performing the same. But I'm okay because it was a solid color, now it's mixed colors, but it's absolutely beautiful. I'm actually crazy about this little window box. It's a small little window box, but oh my goodness. So it's an 8-inch deep window box here. And then coming off of the side of the science shed, that is about, I'd say, 6 inches. So that kind of gives you an idea of how much growing space this has had through the year. And don't forget, watering is key. Do not water unless it needs it. Like, this is one of those where I've really had to watch my watering. And then I just have a couple little eucalyptus popping out here. These are just a couple of the neglectas. I got one over here as well. Just moving that around, all I smell is eucalyptus right now. And these can be dug out and taken in to grow inside because they are not a perennial here in Wisconsin. We have to actually grow them inside of our greenhouse. And this cute little purple flower coming off the sides is called Safari Dusk. This is also a proven winner variety. See how nice we kind of intermix the seeded stuff and the proven winner stuff. And this is a South African phlox. And this one here is the SUPERBELLS Coral Sun by Proven Winner. And what I really like about the SUPERBELLS is that you can really just shake it and the bad flowers just fall off. And then back here hidden are some plumosas ferns, which are just now starting to take off. And not that they'll do too much. I grew so many of these from seed, so I just kind of stuck them in wherever. Like, I've got a lot of plumosas ferns, and I love them even as indoor plants. As you can see, Lana's in there. What are you looking at, Lana?
I found a bug leg.
Ooh. So, yep, so you're getting a little glimpse of the science shed here. Okay. She's looking up a bug leg. This is the bunny planter, the container that decorates the bunny enclosure. This is probably my most favorite SUPERTUNIA ever by Proven Winner. It's called JAZZBERRY. The color, the performance, it's just absolutely stunning. It's gorgeous during the day, but even at this time of twilight, it's like as if it glows purple. It just is just absolutely awesome. And then here is the coffee cups COLOCASIA over here. I really love it because even late in the night when it's humid, it just gets these little drips dripping off of here because the water pools inside, just like a coffee cup. One of the containers coming up, it's where the coffee cups got ginormous and multiplied so big. It's just really pretty. This is also a salvia by Proven Winners. I'm forgetting the exact name, so I'm going to place it right down below. And then over here also the TORENIA. So it's funny because I did not want to plant TORENIA at all, but when I spoke with Proven Winners, they told me that they have this variety and it's absolutely amazing and I need to plant it and try it anyway. So I did, and they were 100% correct because it has become one of my absolute favorites this year. Just so beautiful, even with that caladium there. These are those sun caladiums. Once again, just their performance is so gorgeous. Look at that. We are now going to be moving on from the science shed, and we are going to move on to the garden room containers. We're going to just focus on the exterior containers for tonight. Right here we have the lemon eucalyptus called Citriodora. This is on its second summer. It's really beautiful. I love all of my plants, as you can tell. But we do have some varieties in here too, which we'll share. Tangerine slice appeal. That's one of my favorites right here. It's a Thumbergia. This here is a new Coleus this year. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like, I don't know, like a reptile. I like it though. The texture is really unique. You can see it up close. And then on the back here, I just added a little bit of some spotted BEEBALM. I always love their beautiful flowers. These are some of my favorite containers over here by the garden room. And what's kind of funny is I'm so used to creating containers that are for full sun. And these actually get a lot more shade. So they don't get as full sun as they would like. But that's why you see it's growing off the side beautifully, because it does get some of the morning sun from the east and then a ton of sun from the west. So these are actually on the north side of this garden room, and they still did really well, but this side is a lot more full than the other side. Okay, maybe I'm lying. It looks pretty full on this side. But if it was petunias over here, like the SUPERTUNIAs, it wouldn't be as full. It's mainly because we have that key lime over here, that key lime potato vine that, you know, can grow up or down and fill in throughout and trickle in. It's absolutely gorgeous. Adds that perfect amount of brightness in a darker, shady spot. And then we have these beautiful colocasias on the top here. And these are called Heart of the Jungle. They can get up to 5 feet. So now let's go into some of the other varieties that are in this container. But let's first start off with, what size is this container? The container itself is 3 feet high and it has an 18-inch opening on the top. It's a perfect square. When you give it room, it grows, because right here is that SUPERTUNIA persimmon that was in that other container that didn't do as much. But this is trailing down 3 feet and it's about 2 feet wide. It looks just like the sunset that's setting right now. And then over here we have a red seeded canna. So when you seed your cannas, if you're in Wisconsin, you're going to want to start them in December. Keep them warm, keep it a little humid, and they'll pop and do very well. The coleus in the center is called French quarters. Now you can definitely tell that this is not getting as much sun as it should. It obviously still does very well, but the more sun it gets, the brighter pink it gets. So right here, as you can see, there's some bright pink right in here, but it should all look that way. So anywhere where it's kind of like darker in the leaf and there's just a little pink, all of this should be bright pink. When it's in full sun, it gets bright pink. This is a very vigorous, large growing coleus. And then this bright color SUPERTUNIA is called VISTA fuchsia. This is a proven winner variety. I mean, I don't really have to say any more about it. It just really pops. It adds a really great color within there. And then once again, we have that blue TORENIA in there. Most of you know it as the wishbone, but this name is Summer Wave Large Blue. And we have another CALADIUM in here. So this one is a caladium that only likes part sun to shade. And also in here is the LANTANA. This is Luscious Basket Tangelow by Proven Winners. This one's just getting started, as you can tell. It finally made its way through all of the fullness of this container, and it's just about to come out. You're getting some flowers now, but all of this is going to be in bloom with these beautiful bright colors. And then over here, that's really starting to make its appearance, are the big begonias. Now these would normally get a lot larger. The big begonias obviously are just like their name, bigs, but they've had a lot to compete up against. As you can tell, there's some right over in here. These can also take full sun, so the more sun that these get, the larger they get as well, the more that they'll blossom. But they're just really taking off now. They're starting to get, you know, everything else is getting larger and growing up, which is giving them some light and room to grow in there. So if you aren't familiar with my plantings, I will admit it anytime that I am an overstuffer. So I always add more varieties into a container than what's actually needed, because a lot of these varieties are big performers, so they can outperform each other. But I kind of find that interesting to see what outperforms the other by the end of the season. So I just go with it because I like it to look full and pretty in spring. We go with brown for like almost 8 months, so I'm in need of something big and pretty. So even though some varieties get overtaken as the months go on during our summer season, I at least got to enjoy it, and it at least got to bring beauty and joy to us in the first season, the first months. Even if it's overtaken, totally worth it. We are now moving on to the next container, which is in one of our sitting areas. And we can't share specific parts of the sitting area because it will be featured next year, and we will have a video showing start to finish with that project around, I would say, the March-April time. I'm losing light. I may have to end up, finishing this in the morning. I guess we'll see. Let's go right into detail of what this recipe consists of. So once again, we have these awesome coffee cup colocasias, from Proven Winners. This is the container I was telling you about before on how full it got. Like when I'm sitting in the sitting space, look at how awesome this is. This is that little drop of water on the tip of the leaf that I was telling you about before. This is just what happens at night. It's very magical. This is a very magical plant. Like, it amplifies the entire container. Oop, there it goes. Drip, drip, drop, do-do-do-do-do. I love it. The vibrant coleus in this container is called ColorBlaze Mini Me Watermelon by Proven Winners. And look at how it just adds that perfect touch to really tie in all of the colors through the back. I got one over here on this side as well. I really love the vibrant color of this one, the outline. This one doesn't get as tall. It gets about 20 inches. Right now I would say it's at about 15. There's also the Luscious Berry Blend Lantana poking out on each side. This plant loves hot weather and it can take it really dry, so it's very drought tolerant. But it just adds beautiful flowers into this container. That's what I love about this one, is all of the flowers. It's just amazing. And trailing beautifully on this side is the SUPERTUNIA Saffron Finch by Proven Winner as well. And I'm not usually a yellow fan. I mean, I know a lot of people love yellow flowers, but I'm not always a fan of all yellow flowers or anything like that. But I would definitely do this SUPERTUNIA again. It has been a shocker at how well it's performing. This has just been amazing, and I love the name, Saffron Finch. How beautiful does it look right here with the HOOPLA? This is the HOOPLA Vivid Orchid. Look at how fun it is. It sounds just like its name. And then you see this gorgeous SUPERBENA Cherry Burst by Proven Winners, all mixed and combined together. This just looks fun. It almost looks like a little carnival, along with this luscious berry blend. Look at how fun that is. All right, are you guys ready for me to address the elephant in the room now? I know, you guys are probably all wondering, what is this in full hot sun? Well, it's an amazing, beautiful begonia that can take full sun. This one is called Double Delight Apple Blossom by Proven Winner, and it is so awesome. You guys, the performance on this is just crazy awesome. I didn't know what to expect. The Double Delight will be available this year, and the performance of it, it gets so large, and all of those flowers, it's just, oh my goodness. And this color, it comes in other colors as well, but this color, the apple blossom, is definitely my favorite out of all the colors that we have tried. Look at how beautiful it looks, even with the purples over here. You can see the purples in the background and the blue from the salvia. It's just, wow. It looks amazing. And that blue salvia is called Unplugged So Blue by PW. And that's been awesome too, in all the containers it's been in. You guys saw it in the third container that I shared tonight, over by the bunny enclosure. And then just to give it some extra brightness, because, you know, it didn't really need it, but I love it bright, I added more of the key lime in there. It's the Sweet Caroline Upside Down Key Lime, PW. My favorite container by far. All right, let's move on to this big guy. Do you hear all of those beautiful sounds in the background? This is my favorite time of year here in Wisconsin, mid-August. Everything just comes alive. So if you've been with us here on the channel for a while, you know that I love the king tut grasses here by PW. These can get anywhere from 4 to 6 feet, and I love cutting them as a fresh cut flower on my table in a clear glass vase. In here we have another CANNA by PW. It's the TOUCAN series, and this is the scarlet color. And I actually love this color. The performance has been great. They can get anywhere from 3 to 4 feet. The blooming has been amazing. I really just wanted to mix these two heights of the King Tut and the Canna together to kind of see what came out of it this year. And I'm really impressed and really happy with my decision to add those together because they turned out amazing. And I wanted to draw that color of the scarlet down a little bit, but also add in some oranges. So I added the COLORBLAZE Sedona Sunset Coleus over here, and this is also by PW. I really love how vibrant the color gets. And one more area where I kind of wanted to draw down more of that orange scarlet type bright color is over here by these Selenia begonias. So you guys saw me share the apple blossom before. This is the chocolate orange, so it has a beautiful dark leaf with these bright flowers, and it has performed amazing. And I say amazing because it's been up against some large giants within this container here. So SUPERTUNIAs, COLEUS, CANNAs, and it still is coming out as a beautiful, vibrant champion over here. And then off the front, we have the key lime. We did do 2. So this container is 3 feet wide. It's a round circumference, so 3-foot circumference, and it's 2.5 feet off of the ground. So it's a very large pot. That's why it's able to hold so many of these large growing varieties. And it still only needs water every other day. What I do is I just stick the hose in there. I let it kind of overflow off the top so that way the water goes all the way through, so it really wets the entire root ball of that large container. And then every other day watering, and we're good. So the larger pot you have, the less watering you have throughout the season. And once again, we have the SUPERTUNIA VISTA fuchsia off the front. It adds that vibrant color that needs to break up that chartreuse lime color from the key lime. And then we got our luscious berry blend Lantana again. Look how fun that little guy is. And that one's also just getting started. And then on each side, we also threw in the SUPERTUNIA Bermuda Beach. It's just a really great SUPERTUNIA just for trailing and adding color. And there's one over on this side as well, right in there. And we'll move on to this container tomorrow. I'm running out of light and time, so I think we're going to do a part 2. So this is part 1, and Fuzzy wants to come outside. You want to come out, Fuzz? She's like, let me out. All right, well, that's going to have to conclude today's container garden tour. So we're gonna have to break this up into 2 sections. I didn't realize that I would have to do that, but I have so many containers to share with you and so many fun varieties, and I can't wait to share a combination tomorrow that's actually one of my favorite combinations so far this year, and I didn't even get to it yet. I hope you guys enjoyed container gardening part 1, and we'll continue this in the next video. So I'll see you next, and I'll start filming in the morning so that way we can get more light to film this, because it's actually pretty dark right now, even though the camera's trying to like keep up with the lighting. Thank you so much, you guys. Have an awesome day.